amalgamation. There'll be a conversation happening, and you can see a practical demonstration as well. That is how this session has been planned. So I'll take my little 2 minutes to introduce each one of them. A voluntary retired senior officer of the State Bank of India, a postgraduate in vocal music from Prayag Sangeet Samiti, Allahabad, an approved singer and lyricist of All India Radio, a learned and dedicated research in the field of music and language. Dr. Narayan Parhi is a musicologist of repute and venerated for his commendable publication. He is a recognized research supervisor in the discipline of Performing Arts of Utkal University of Culture, Bhubaneswar, for guiding doctoral and postdoctoral research scholars. The founder chairman of Institute of Indian Music, Bhubaneswar. He was also a member of the committee constituted by the government of Odisha to prepare report on classicality of Odia language. Recently, in fact, he has 35 books, of course, to his credit, but recently a book of his, Evolution of Odissi Music, was published by the state government. So that's something recently that happened. Of course, we have with us Dr. Ileana Citaristi, Italian-born exponent of the Odissi and show dance forms, celebrated for her deep integration into India's classical dance tradition. Born in Italy, she moved to India in 1979, where she trained under the legendary Guru Kerucharan Mahapatra in Odissi, and then expanded her expertise to Mayurbhanj show dance under Guru Hari Nayak. In 1996, she won the National Film Award for Best Choreography for her work in the film Yugand, and of course, she was honored with Padma Shree in 2006. Dr. Citaristi has significantly contributed to the promotion and preservation of these classical dance forms. She's also the founder of the Art Vision Academy in Bhubaneswar, where she continues to mentor the next generation of dancers. And for the practical demonstration, ladies and gentlemen, that would be led by Srimati Vidushi Sangeeta Panda and her team, a classical vocalist in the genre of Odissi and Hindustani vocal, daughter of the legendary Odissi Guru Pandit Gopal Chandra Panda, under whom she was also trained, an A-graded artist. Her talent and dedication has already given her the recognition as a rising star in Odisha's classical music scene. She has been honored with a number of prestigious awards and has also participated in musical performances all across the country. So we are very, very interested for this wonderful amalgamation that's going to happen on stage in a couple of minutes from now, as I invite our panelists and the team. The team is already here. So I think let's invite both of them on stage. Please give them a big round of applause. Dr. Kirtan Narayan Parhi and Padma Shri recipient Odissi and Show Guru, Dr. Ileana Citaristi.
Shall I start? Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. In this session, I am in the role of moderator, and there are two pandit sitting here. Since the session is on Geeta Govinda, but on the musical aspect of Geeta Govinda. Naturally, Geeta Govinda is such a vast subject. It can be tackled from so many corners. And so we have decided that the music aspect will be focused on. So let me just start by reading the first para of the chapter on music of the Geeta Govinda, which is in my own book, Odyssey and the Geeta Govinda. I started this chapter by saying, the first English translation of the Geeta Govinda to appear in the West was the one published by Sir William Jones in 1792. In the preface to the book, he writes, when I first read the songs of Jayadev, who has prefixed to each the names of the mode in which it has to be sung, I had hoped to procure the original music. But the Pandits of the South referred me to those of the West, and the Brahmins of the West would have sent me to those of the North, while the one of Nepal and Kashmir declare that they had no ancient music. But imagine that the notes of the Geeta Govinda must exist, if anywhere, where the poet was born. So this is, I think, a very apt beginning to start by saying that, of course, Jayadev born in Orissa is undisputed. We don't have any more any doubt about that. And so many facts are proving that. So one more proof we can get through the musical aspect. And this is what we are going to talk about this time. And first of all, briefly, I would just mention the fact that one of the major facts is that Geeta Govinda, since the beginning, from the 13th century itself, soon after it was composed, it was part of the ritual of the Jagannath temple. And Jagannath temple was such a center where pilgrims, saints, bhakta, munis, everybody was coming to Jagannath temple. It was a center of culture, a center of amalgamation of different language, culture. So the people who were coming, they were to the Jagannath temple, they were listening to the singing of the Geeta Govinda, to the dance of the Geeta Govinda. They were going back to their own region by bringing back the impression of this incredible poem and this incredible devotional poem and this and a musical poem. So because Geeta Govinda we can tackle from so many angles, as I said. For the Bhakta is a devotional poem, for a Sanskrit Pandit is a Sanskrit masterpiece, for the musician is a music source, for the dancer is a dance source. So the fact that was born here, but it became a pan-Indian factor, it is due to the fact that it was sang in the Jagannath temple. And the Jagannath temple, it has been the center from which it radiates all over. This is what I think very strongly. And so after saying that, since we have to talk about the music portion, the music part, Jayadev was one of the first poet to add the name of the mode, the musical mode, the raga, to each of the Ashtapadi of the poems. And we can just say that previous to that, there were this Charya Gita, Charya Pada, which also had the musical mode attached to them. But it was in the Sanskrit, it was the first time that music and poetry were going so strictly together. So Jayadev started with 11 raga, and after him, whoever comes later, in the later from 14th, 15th, 16th century, all the Gita Kavya which were composed, inspired by the Geeta Govinda, all the poets added more and more raga. And so we have an incredible amount of ragas which belong to the typically of the Odissi music Padhati. So this Odissi music is what we are going to deal today mainly, and through the demonstration. And of course, I would like to just, I mentioned this 11 raga, so since some of them will be demonstrated, Malava, Gurjari, Basanta, Ramakiri, Gondakiri, Karnata, Desakya, Bharadi, Desabaradi, Bhairavi, and Vibhava. So these Vibhasa, sorry. So these are the 11 raga. Now let me, before going to the practical demonstration of some of them, of course, these are names. It is not so easy to reconstruct the way these raga were used at the time of the 12th century, 13th century. We have a lot of Shastra, Sangita Muktavali, Sangita Narayana, where mention of the Lakhana of the ragas are there. So a lot of studies is required at this point to reconstruct. And then we have the oral tradition, the parampara, where songs and bhajan, janana, champu, everything came down to us from where this raga can be again reconstructed. So let me ask first to Sir Kirtan Narayan Parhi, through this music indication which we have from Jayadeva, is this a further proof that it belongs to the Orissa culture? Can we also mention the musical modes as a further proof that Jayadeva belongs to Orissa?
Before answering to the question of our moderator, Madam Padma Shree Ileana Citaristi, let me stand before Lord Jagannath and the learned and cultured audience present here. Then I express my heartiest gratitude to all the members of Kalinga Literary Festival who have invited me to speak something here. And today's topic is very important, very prominent, very significant at the present juncture of time, because our topic relates to Geeta Govinda. Now it is a time when we are trying to earn classical status of Odissi music from the central government of India. So our discussion will must help to some extent at least to earn classical status of Odissi music. Madam quoted a very important version of Sir William Jones, who came to India in 1782 and formed the Asiatic Society of Bengal at Calcutta in 1784. He wrote a book on Geeta Govinda of Sri Jayadev. The version which Madam read out here is written by Sir William Jones, who has already clarified that Jayadev does not belong to north, south or west of India, but somewhere in eastern part of Odisha, eastern part of India, that indirectly indicates to Odisha. We have to prove that Jayadev belongs to Odisha. The first point is that right from the date of composition of Lord Geeta Govinda of Jayadev, it is being sung in Lord Jagannath temple as a daily ritual. Sir William Jones says that the modes, that means the ragas, which Sri Jayadev has applied in Geeta Govinda, we are not sure about the true characteristic features of the raga. It is the place where Jayadev was born. Quite probably the true characteristic features of ragas of Geeta Govinda will be available from the birthplace of Jayadev. That means Odisha. Jayadev has applied at 11 or 12 ragas in his Geeta Govinda. Jayadev belongs to 12th century. When Jayadev applied and sung those ragas prior to Jayadev, that means before 12th century, there were several ragas prevailing in India. We come to know the details of the ragas right from the Koholiam of Kohola Muni, Bruhadesi of Matanga Muni, Datilam of Matanga Muni. The characteristic features of the ragas of Geeta Govinda are already there in the scriptures of these great saints and seers. But practically, by the pass of time, sometimes the structure of the ragas are reformed or changed gradually. But we have to ensure whether we are singing the right mode. That means the correct characteristic features of ragas are being reflected in the rendering or reciting the ragas. Those things also we have already clarified, because Geeta Govinda is the most ancient song of India, which are those ragas are being sung at least from 12th century. Before 12th century, there are so many ragas which are also repeated in Geeta Govinda. We are being sung in Charja Gitikas written in Odisha. But the modern Odissi music, the name of this Odissi music was Udra music. but the structure and the features of modern Odissi music starts from Shree Jayadev, right from that Geeta Govinda. Out of the ragas, several gurus have composed the songs in different ragas, but it is observed that all the singers are not singing uniformity. We don't observe uniformity because that varies from the composers to composers, from gurus to gurus, and from singers to singers. But it is our duty to discover the true characteristic features of ragas of Geeta Govinda. Then only we can prove that our Odissi music is classical, because in classical music, the first point to identify or recognize any music as classical is raga. Without raga, no song can be, no music can be declared as classical. Out of that, Guru Gopal Chandra Pandit is my guru. Prior to me, he has written so many books. He generally, Guru Gopal Pandit, he prioritized to the ragas of Odissi music. But there are differences in opinion of the Gurus of Odisha. Everything, all the differences now have been solved to the unanimous, to the consensus of the scholars and the singers and the Guru. So our Sangeeta Pandit also will demonstrate the features of some raga. Another thing, before they start their practical demonstration, I will have to highlight some other important points. Lord Geeta Govinda is related to the services of Lord Jagannath. In Geeta Govinda, Sri Jayadev has repeated some words like Kesava, Madhava, Govinda. In Dasavatar Prabandha, you all have heard the name of Kesava, because Jayadev in his childhood days, he was a devotee of Madhava, nearly Madhava, whose temple is nearer to Kendubilo, his birthplace. Generally, the people of Odisha worship Lord Jagannath in the name of Kesava in the month of Margasira, in the name of Madhava in the month of Magha.
Sir,
In the name of Govinda,
music upare ame roiba.
in the name of Govinda in the month of Phalguna. So this Kesava, Madhava and Govinda, that also emphasizes the tradition and culture of Lord Jagannath and the culture and the musical tradition of Odisha. Okay, thank you.
No, you can keep on later on. You're not finished. So, so he has mentioned that there are different interpretations. Of course, it's a life art. It cannot be fixed or frozen anywhere. Same like dance. We are facing the same problem in dance with all the different variations which are happening. So, but what my question to Sangeeta, we have the Shastras. So, is it possible through the indication which are there, the Raga Lakshana, the indication of the characteristic of the Raga, Arohi, Avarohi, what is the main note, how many, if it is 5 notes or 7 notes, if it is a Sampurna or not. Through these indication, is it possible to reconstruct the Raga accurately? Is the question.
Hello. Pranam to all. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and lovers of music, art, and literature. So, already the topic has been introduced. So, I'm not going to the introductory part of this. So, I'm starting with the question of Ileana Maya Dedi. So, Jayadeva, as we got to know, it's undoubtedly, he belonged to Odisha and Utkala. It has been already proved. Naturally, his composition is deeply rooted to the Odishan culture, Odishan musical tradition. This is also undoubtedly we can go for. And he was the first person who made a masterpiece of a musical tradition with the particular and principalized framework with particular rhythmical cycle that we call rhythm and music ragas. So mentioning the particular ragas and talas, he was the first person to make a musical ballet. Apart from Geeta Govinda's perspectives of a love story, a musical ballet, Dasavatara, Radha and Krishna's Leelas, all everything. Today's we will be focusing on the music and the ragas and talas he has used, because for Odissi music, for us, he was the first and the most important person, and Geeta Govinda is the most important textual point from where we can trace our historical journey towards the goal of making it classical music. And for classical music, we need raga and tala, the most vital part of it. So, as Didi asked, Jayadeva has mentioned 11 names of the ragas and 7 talas. From them, till now, though he has used so many pan-Indian ragas, but we as the Odissan culture, Odissan people, Odia music, Odissi music, there are certain ragas, some few ragas, yet are not been found anywhere else except Odisha. Jayadeva used the ragas, that means it was there already. The use of ragas, the grammatical structure, it was already there. But he mentioned it and he got it into a textual concept. Then onwards also, so many writers, so many scholars have made so many texts regarding the findings of Geeta Govinda using those ragas, the context of those ragas, the sastras of those ragas. And after Jayadeva also, those ragas has been continuously in use till now. So I can say at least five to six ragas we are singing from the day Jayadeva mentioned till now. That is very unique to Odissan culture. Their composition, the combination of the notes, the way their gaiki goes is very typical and very authentic for Odissan culture.
So can you give one example?
Yes. As we are in the Ritu of Paguna or summer, so Lord Jagannatha, who belongs to this only, and this belongs to Jagannath only, Odissi culture, Odisha music. So I'm preferring to start with Chandana Charchita Neela Kalevara, because this is the time Lord Jagannatha used to have Chandana. This is Raga Ramakiri. I must say, this raga is having some synonymous names to Karnataki Ramakri, Ramakriya. All those are there, but Ramakiri is very special, very specific to Odissi music. And the swaras are sa re ga pa dha ga dha pa ga pa dha sa ga re sa sa ni da pa ma ga re re ga pa ma ga re sa sa re ga pa da pa ga da pa. Chandan Charchita Chandana Charchita Chandana Charchita Neela Kalevara Pita Vasa Vanamali Pita Vasa Vanamali केळी चळामणी कुंडलित केळी चळामणी कुंडलित साडी हरे रिह मोह बधूनी करे हरे रिह मोह बधूनी करे विलासिनी विलासनी केळी परे हरे रिह मोह बधूनी करे Dara bari pina dara pina dara bari hari pina saraga gopavadhur gayati gache dudachit panchama raga hare riha mogar badhuri kare vilasini vilasati vilasini vilasati keeli pare hare riha mogar badhuri kare
Thank you so much. Naturally, a practical demonstration is always more explicit and more pleasant to hear than just discussion, especially if we are talking about something like Geeta Govinda, where music and dance are so, okay, dance is not there this time, but music is there at least. So, rhythmic, that is another aspect of the music, of course. There is not only raga. The way the rhythmical structure of the words which Jayadeva is used is also incredibly, and actually the musicality of the Geeta Govinda, according to me and according to all of us, is not only in the melody and the raga, but also in the language itself. Even if we just recite the Sanskrit, it has a sound, it has a music of its own, even if you don't put it into melody. So that is the greatness of Geeta Govinda. So the alliteration, the choice of vowels, the sequences of vowels, and also the rhythmical structure. So the vowel which are short and long, which gives the rhythmic and the specific structured tal, the rhythm of the verse. So this is a peculiarity which of a composition which is called prabandha. Prabandha is again a very important name which we attribute to. There are different types of prabandha, so we are not going too much into the technicality of it, but I just wanted to ask Kirtan sir if he just briefly, for the unaware person, for the people who they are not so much inside in the subject, how you explain what is prabandha and how it relates to the structure of the Geeta Govinda. To a layman, not too much to the Pandita.
Geeta Govinda is such a monumental work that it covers literature, music, philosophy also. In literature, the style of composing words in a verse is known as riti. And in music, the style of composing the tones or notes is called giti. Sri Jayadev has written the verses of Geeta Govinda in Vaidarbhi Riti. One of the characteristic features of Vaidarbhi Riti is the words must be soft, sweet, and nice or beautiful. That is the characteristic features of Vaidarbhi Riti. जो मधुर कोमल कांत पदावली बोली आम कहते श्री जयदेव गीत गोविंदर पदावली कहीं कहते ना वैदर्भी रीति रचित होती इन ओडिसी म्यूजिक आवर क्लासिकल स्टाइल ऑफ सिंगिंग और गायकी इज बेस्ड ऑन गीति. देयर आर 4 टाइप्स ऑफ गीतीज इन इंडिया: मागधी, अर्ध मागधी, संभाविता एंड पृथुला. Out of that, our Odissi music adopts Ardha Magadhi Giti. Sri Jayadev has written Geeta Govinda in Ardha Magadhi Giti. Ardha Magadhi Giti means some words of the previous word, some letters or syllable of the previous word will be repeated in the next word. That is called Ardha Magadhi Giti. चंदन चर्चित नील कलेवर पीत बसन बनमाली. चंदन चर्चित नील कलेवर पीत बसन बनमाली. बसन बनमाली. लाइक दैट निंदति चंदन बिंदु किरण मनु बिंदति खेदम धीर. यू सी दी अलिटरेशन, जो अनुप्रास, जो छंद, ये जो सब शब्दर a letter or a syllable of the previous word will be repeated. Anuprasa, like those things, Sri Jayadev has written Geeta Govinda in that line. It is very difficult. The style of composition of Geeta Govinda is rare in India. Therefore, Sir William Jones has said that Geeta Govinda is the first evidence of Indian classical music. So William Jones has said this. But if Jayadev belongs to Odia, that means the evidence of first stream of classical music in India is Odissi.
Yes.
That we can prove only through this Geeta Govinda. Another thing, Ardha Magadhi Giti was already in vogue thousands of years before Geeta Govinda. Therefore, among all the classical streams of music, Odissi is the oldest one. Because those evidences we get from Geeta Govinda. He has decorated each syllable of each word in such a manner that जाको अकस्मात आकर्षित करदब. Suddenly it will touch to the heart of the people. And when those sweet, soft and beautiful words will just touch your ear, automatically that will change your consciousness. Therefore, Geeta Govinda has a spiritual feeling. It has put impact on all the systems of music in India, not only India, but also outside the world. And Prabandha, just another few words I will talk about Prabandha. Geeta Govinda, all of you know that is the Ashtapadi. Geeta Govinda is the Ashtapadi. Ashtapadi, Chaupadi, Champu, these type of Prabandha. Prabandha means a different type of songs which are bound in a scientific manner. Prakrushta rupe bandha hele prabandha हुए. जो प्रबंध गान विभिन्न धारा, there are different varieties of प्रबंध गान. Out of that, all the songs of Geeta Govinda belong to the Khidra Gita. Ashtapadi, Chaupadi. Ashtapadi, what is the specification and what is the significance of Ashtapadi? Because Ashtapadi is written according to the tradition of Nandi. All of you must be knowing that Nandi is the Mangala Gita. Right from the time of Natya Shastra, when it was written and for the first time in the universe, the first drama written by Bharata Muni, that is Tripura Daha, it was staged. It was staged before Lord Shiva. In that Tripura Daha, there was Nandi, and our Ashtapadi follows the specifications of Nandi Singh's. Therefore, Jayadev's, all the songs of Geeta Govinda are very benevolent, are very beneficial, and that have some spiritual, that will
Yes.
put impact on your spiritual.
He is too much a pandit, too much knowledge. We need too much more time. So I'm so sorry that I have to interrupt him. But just to conclude, because I've already got the sheet of paper that we have only 10 minutes. So let us go to the, I suppose, the two invocation with which Geeta Govinda opens, Srita Kamala Kucha Mandala and
No,
Dasavatar.
I will just give two specifics, then I will finish. Let me. So, as it was, the topic was related to that. I want to take two to three prabandhas very shortly to specific that. I was talking 6 or 5 ragas, uncontroversial throughout world, that it is belongs to Odisha and it's made by Jayadeva only. So I want to show that, or to make you listen to those ragas. One raga is Malava Gauda. It's starting with Dasavatara, and I'm not singing Dasavatara as because I have to finish all the 10 stanzas. It will take time. So the Malava Gauda raga again used with the Treyadasa Prabandha. Sare ga ma pa da ni sa, sa da pa ma ga re sa. And the Tala also. First, we sang a Prabandha of Ekotali. Now I am going to Jhampa. This is also very unique of Odissi, Parjaya Odissi system. 2-3-2-3 bits. How Jayadev distributed the wordings, the sur, the notes in a unique style. Kathita sama epi hari rahanaya yo kathita sama epi hari rahana yo Geeta Govinda can't be finished without the Prabandha. Which Prabandha? Badasi Jadi? Which number? Which number?
I think we have to
Huh,
close.
5 minutes. I will.
No, we can.
So we started so late, half an hour late.
So, but I think something has been demonstrated, and we were able, although under the pressure of time,
So,
to
start.
show and to what depth
Okay.
and
and
richness
then-
of music is there in the Geeta Govinda. And I just would like to finish by saying that I'm very always emotional to hear that in the houses, Oriya houses, even now at the time of Arati, that Srita Kamala, Kucha Mandala, and
Yeah.
Dasavatar are sang and performed. So this is a real demonstration that Geeta Govinda is alive, and the century has not taken away anything out from that.
Okay.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
finishing with Mangala Gujari, Srita Kamala. Mangala Gujari is a raga believed that Jayadeva is made it himself. Two ragas combined, Mangala and Gujari. No such ragas found in anywhere else. The ragas, as it says, Syama Sukhi Nidillasa Pallava Talpajata Srute Swarana Dadhati Vibhagam Tantri Mukhi Mangala Gujari Sarigama Pada Pama Pada Nisa Srita Kamala Srita Kamala Mandala Hari Srita Kamala Mandala Druta Kundala Srita Kundala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Sadara Ganjana Hari Kaliya Sadara Ganjana Ganjana Jana Hari Jana Jana Madhumura Jaya Jaya Sri Jaya Deva Kavedam Hare Sri Jaya Deva Kavedam Kurute Mridam Kurute Mangala Mojala Geetam Jaya Deva Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare 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 Jaya Jaya Deva
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful conclusion to the session. And we understand that these are sessions which can go beyond time, but then we have to stick to the time schedule since we have a lot of sessions ahead. So I'll request Srimati Madhushandabalaji to please come on stage and do the honors and felicitate our panelists here. We started this session half an hour late, and which is why everything has got a little delayed. So we'll request all our moderators to please stick to the time now. A very, very interesting session indeed. The discussion with the practical demonstration made it very alluring and appealing for everyone. जोरदार करताली हे जाऊ आपण मान ताली रु जणा पड़ला आपण माने खूब आनंद नहीं एई सेशन रो पूरा टीम को पाई वी वुड लाइक टू थैंक एवरीवन. Capturing the memories with a group photograph. Ashok ji madhya asi echanti bartaman manchare. All right, thank you everyone. I'll request the team to be very quick in setting the stage up, and meanwhile I'll take this opportunity not to waste time and talk about the next session and our panelists, so that when I'm done with that and the stage is set, we can straight away call them onto the stage. So our next session, ladies and gentlemen, is between silence and solitude. Mr. Gagan Gill in conversation